Rogue, a story as old as my gadget history, actually. Man, I'm old. So, guys, smash your relevant grab button, subscribe button, and make sure you guys don't miss out on this top 5 breakdown of Rogue, shall we? Alright, so I'm just going to disclaimer put Madolche here as number 1 on the top Rogue list here. So this is very interesting because out of France and out of the UK this past weekend, respectively in third place in both events, by the way, I still find that a little bit weird, we had 2 Madolche players come in. So Glass Full, Madolche Salon. I think the one thing that I want to say about like these finishes is Salon's a really good card, man. Like, normal summon, start combo is really great. And you would think that Madolche's ending board isn't that crazy. But evidently it is. When this deck starts steamrolling, a Dark Ruler No More resolving literally just turns an entire player's day upside down. Like, I don't know what else more to say about it. Like, I'm actually kind of disgusted that now is the time that we're finally seeing Madolche return back into the format, which means that it's slowed down enough. Okay. So a slower format has allowed the Candy Treats the chance to do their thing. Glass Fillet is a heck of a card. The board breaking potential of this deck was really good. Oh, and what is it? Butler's not once per turn? I don't know if you guys have ever read Madolche cards. Probably a lot of you haven't, and I don't blame you for that. But Madolche, like I said, it all revolves around Salon. Alright, also, yeah, Dark Ruler No More. I still can't get over how much Dark Ruler No More is impacting today's format. I'm going to do a tech choice, or tech update for the side deck here for what's going on between like the metagame and it. And all of these choices are literally going in and out of the main and the side. And Dark Ruler No More is that one. So hey, Candy Treats are doing something. Number 2 on our list here is Sky Striker. And it's interesting because the last US extravaganza, I think I saw Bill Way was the one that topped it. And then very, very long ago, we had Eldritch Striker. We've only seen Eldritch Striker perform once in our metagame. And come to find out, that was a really weird concoction that was cooking in the OCG long ago. So weird that it actually works. And that version kind of fell off. And then we fast forward to, well, this past week and a half here, where you got the chance to see, yeah, more Striker. So, what makes Striker so gosh dang good? I'll give you a hint. It's triple frickin' Widowmaker. Alright, once this deck gets going, they're one of the only decks in the format that can grind as well as Eldritch can. If Eldritch catches you with your pants down in a grind game, you're not going to have a good time. If you run into a Striker player that has Mystic Mine on you, you're not going to have a good time. Both of these things are like the other. Strikers have the chance to do well because of Mystic Mine. I think that there's a weird variant I saw running around. I don't think it saw any success, but it was trying to cut Mystic Mine. And I just remember the duelist people were like, no, stop. Like, you need to play Mine in the deck. So, I'm not quite sure in the level of that innovation, but let's be honest here. Mystic Mine's definitely contributed to a lot of the success that has been had with Striker. Whether or not you want to acknowledge it or not, that's fine. But in modern day, yeah, you look at the deck and you're like, oh, it's just another Mystic Mine strategy. And it may or may not be anymore, but that's the preconceived notion that a lot of players have. Next up here, I have to mention Tri-Brigade as a rogue pick, in addition to this being one of the better metagame picks in the top 5 region here. So the cool thing with Tri-Brigade is if you want to play some of the more off builds, say you want to play Gladiator Beast, X Sabers, Glads, X Sabers, Black Wings. You get what, Ancient Warriors, actually. I think Ancient Warriors are probably one of the better variants. We've seen that Zoo Brigade was one of the ones that was finding more success in the metagame as of late. But when you kind of fast forward here to things, the Tri-Brigade engine is still doing a lot of work for Rogue. It's definitely held together a lot of these, maybe tier 3 strategies by a lot of people's opinions. But I think it's cool that you can effectively put a Tri-Brigade package into, say, your X-Saber deck, and you can go to locals and you can do good with it because of what you have available to you in the modern format. And I think that's awesome, man. Like, let's give it up for Tri-Brigade diversity. Yes, the engine is very good in the more powerful decks, but it's awesome that it can hold together these Ancient Warrior, Fire Fist, these crazier, I would say, less powerful builds that players want to have and have a good time. And that's what you need to do when you design a good generic engine. Is if somebody wants to play something like X-Sabers, for example, they can do that. All right, that's the definition of good design. All right, in that argument, Norden would have been good design, but then everybody started abusing it, so we had to ban it. Yeah. Scratch that thought. But yeah, Tri-Brigades in the Rogue department and in the top metagame department is really freaking good. And then next up we have Earthbox. Now, I like calling it Earthbox. I know other people have a different name for it. It is what it is. It's basically Infinitrack, Machina, Go Burr, the strategy. Now, we've mentioned Earthbox a couple of times. The deck doesn't always find success, and the success it finds is relatively in between. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've seen Daniel Marino Smith do pretty well with it in some remote duel tournaments. That's neither here nor there. I do think that going forward that the deck is really freaking good, honestly. The cool boards that it can make, it's awesome. I also have access to the train cards. It's pretty good. Machina Citadel is also a really freaking good card. Alright, but once again, at the end of the day, the deck is unfortunately a little bit more fragile than I would really want to give it up for. And unfortunately, when you start to see fragile things enter into the metagame, they break pretty easily. So that's the greatest issue that we see with Earthbox at this point in time is, yeah, man, the concept behind the deck is cool. Being able to pull from all the different, Metal Cruncher, searching down, Citadel or whatever interactions, fortresses, loading up your graveyard, and then lone firing down different lines of play, going through 3 link ones in a turn, to end on what a few people might deem as a subpar board compared to some of the other metagames, sure. But it's the fact that you can do that in that toolbox deck. And I'm actually freaking happy to see that we are at this point in the metagame, actually. Like, it's actually freaking awesome. Alright, so, yes, be freaking happy that Earthbox is still cooking in the background of the metagame. It's super exciting, like, honestly, alright? I'm so happy to see it. And last one I want to talk about here for this video, the returning Unchained. Now, we've seen in the American metagame for the Remote Duel Extravaganza the exact same thing. One duelist is topped with Unchained twice at this point in time, which raises the question of how good is Dimension Shifter? No, Dimension Shifter is a really good card. If you can open up and resolve Dimension Shifter in the multitude of ways that you need to see that card in order to hard carry you, yes, it is extremely good. I think D-Shifter's pretty much been the hard carry of that deck. Problem is, Unchained has a really hard time, and I mean one of the hardest times in the metagame, handling a Dragoons. They have to do some really weird plays in order to out it, but at the end of the day, I think the greatest issue is its weakness. Alright, not being able to do anything about an untargetable monster. Yep. But in pretty much every other situation, the deck has a really good grind game, and that grind game is what really carries Unchained to that higher metagame potential. I freaking love that, man. I think it's so cool that, if Unchained had been around years ago, and I still love saying this, like, I think the deck would have been banned. Like, Konami would have never allowed it to be, because free-floating recruiting like that in any other stage of this game's history, too much. So guys, smash your link, grab that subscribe button, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think about these rogue decks, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on in the day for some more cool, awesome content. Peace out. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.